Come on in. I have a few things to show you on my Jeepers Creepers truck. Hey, thanks for joining us on YouTube. What are you doing here? Darkness falls across the land, and my stick is shut on. Hey everybody, I'm Brian Adams, and this is the latest on my series of my Jeepers Creepers truck. This is number 11 to show you where I'm at on my series. So let's take a look at the video, shall we? I haven't done anything more with the hood. It's pretty much sitting like that in limbo. But what I have done is I've cut out the grid that was right around the door. And I have built up the epoxy, well, fiberglassed it first, and epoxied along the door jamb, so all the way up to here, and I've actually let it set for a couple of days. I'm going to leave this part here open because I have to put a couple of hinges here. I'll be telling you more about those later. And I did put some epoxy right up there in the window frame to give added strength. And I've removed a couple of the ribs that were very close here and here so that I have working room. And I've actually built out a little bit now that I've got that in there on both of those sides. Made it a little bit rounder, and I'm kind of building out that. You can see the shape of it. So yeah, that's where we're at. Here's the doors that I haven't done anything more with, but those will actually fit in. Now, show you. Yeah, those will actually fit in there. And but we're still putting these aside for right now because I have to work on the hinges and stuff. And I'm actually working on another project. If you go to Instagram, I'm under Brian Adams in Instagram. I am actually working on another little caricature. Never really done this before. I'm working on this at a 1/12 scale, which means that this is actually this that you're seeing, this head here of this caricature, is only 3/4 of an inch tall. And so I've been working on him slowly, little by little, adding to him and getting everything added out. But that's going to be the creeper. We've now come to where we have to do something about the hinges. So what I actually did was, on this type of old truck, on the COE 1941 truck, they actually had a hinge that looked something like this. Pretty dramatic for a little thing like this. So what I really wanted to do, this is basically what I wanted to go with. The only thing with these is that they're too big, and actually they fit into one another. And then there is a pin that fits into them. This little pin that fits down and holds it. Well, one hinge, and you can see there it is. And I cut it in half. And be really careful if you're following me doing this. This is done with an X-Acto knife. Make sure you have plenty of lighting. And so 1/2 is going to go in the door, and 1/2 is going to go into the cab by the door frame. So, and I've actually taken this stuff to try it, and I heated it up to see what would happen. If you heat it up, what happens is it just burns and it disintegrates. If you try to bend it after you burned it, it's gone. But you can actually bend it in the shape that you want to, and it holds pretty well. So there's one that I actually bend it. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Then I can show you more later as it goes, but that's a process. Like I said, that's what I've come up with. This is the way the hinges really were in that time frame. And yeah, so Once I started cutting the hinges, I realized, hey, I need to get going on these doors. So I taped them in so that they would fit in easier without trying to hold them both up at the time. So what I have done is, as you can see, let me pull one side out. Which one should I pull? Let's take this one here. Okay, so what I did was, I have done some ribbing. It is probably about a 1/4 of an inch that I originally cut. So I basically took my paper and I put it on the inside here. Like, how can I describe that better so you understand? Okay, I basically took some paper like this and I set it where it's like inside. Okay, and then I took a pin and I drew it along the edge there to get the shape. And I marked where it was, if it was like a window or it was down at the bottom of it, or you know where it was, so that when I put it on the door it would be in the same spot. So then I went ahead and cut that shape, and then I would take that shape that I cut, that was, you know, this here, okay, if that makes sense. If it's a round shape, I took that and I put it where it would make sense. So basically, it is a round opening. You can see the door has a round shape to it. I did that to both sides, on the lower part of the door first and then the center, and then I made an adjoining piece that went from the center part, which actually started where the stripe is supposed to go. The line is supposed to go down the cab, started right about there and went up midway to the window, and did that on both doors so that I could get the shape that I needed. And so what I did then is I put, of course, the epoxy on the door. This is just one coating, and I'm going to have to let it dry. Now there's a couple things that you have to think about when you're doing this. Is you go, wow, it doesn't fit plush. Well, it doesn't fit plush because I haven't put that line into this part of the cab yet, nor have I done it in the back part. So you just kind of get that plushed out on the top, and then get that roundness more squared out on the door, and then put that line continuing to the hood, match everything up. But that will come a little bit later. We'll be doing that. And the hinges themselves, they have to really, are going to have to be bent or put into the door. So what I'll do is I'll cut down the epoxy, or I will cut it, make a little incision in the door and in the cab for the epoxy to go there. I originally had the drawing on the upper part, and I never marked it, but I do have my original paper pattern for it, so I will be able to find it. And for the knowing where the door hinge goes here, I have the tape there, so I'll mark that off with before I remove that, so that I know that that's where the hinge goes for the lower part of the door. And of course, the COE cab has a cut that the door goes this part here where we cut out of the cab, but you'll see that a little later. Anyway, so that's what I've done. That's where it's at. If you liked today what you saw, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. That way I know if you like the video or not. That way YouTube knows if you like the video or not. And don't forget to leave comments below if there's anything you want to say. And what else? Oh yeah, turn on that bell, that notification button there, so every time I upload video, you'll be able to know that I have done so. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you for being here. And I think that's it. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.